Here from Californiathon 2017 at the beautiful Santa Clara Marriott. I'm TurboDog702 coming to you to host for this next kind of short block here. We have coming up here a very, very interesting thing that I don't think has been seen on this large of a stage. We are, of course, talking about the Zelda Randomizer race, and it's going to be performed today by Darkwing Duck and RCDrone, and they will be racing against each other. I'm going to have the commentators themselves actually talk to themselves. We've kind of secluded the runners a little bit, I would say, because of the nature of this challenge. They shouldn't really get any outside information. But commentators, would you like to introduce yourselves and talk to us about what Randomizer is?
Hi, I'm Miria-chan,
Hi, I'm Panzer Dave.
and this is Legend of Zelda Randomizer. So, Randomizer is basically just like the real game in terms of the gameplay, the items, and all that sort of stuff. You are you are Link trying to rescue Zelda, and you have to kill Ganon. But everything has changed in the game.
Nothing is where it should be. You'll find items not in their normal spots. If you've run any percent in any category for Zelda, you'll quickly realize that level 1 is not where level 1 should be. And level 9 is not on Death Mountain anymore. Who knows where it is?
And even better, when you start off the game, you don't have a sword, and you're often not on the screen that has the sword. So at the beginning, you have to search for a sword and all that sort of stuff. And it can be pretty hard to find stuff very early game, especially when you run into whiz robes with 3 hearts.
Or Lionels. Lionels are always fun. You go left or down or up, and hey, there's a Lionel there, and it shoots you and you die.
All right, so just before we get prompted to start here, I just want to verify real quick our winners for our kind of bid war for the randomizer sprites. Our first player is going to be the old woman, who completely
Hear me roar!
who completely crushed that. And we're going to have Moblin as the second player, who just barely edged out Darknut. So whenever you gentlemen are ready and Tech Crew's ready.
Yep.
So this is a bad guys versus good guys race in that RC-Drone is playing as a bad guy and and Darkwing's playing as a good guy.
Boo! We're good. And
Down, drone!
and I'm not going to do a typical countdown. We will be going at the end of my phrase, which will be the second you hear. So
I can barely hear you.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from there.
Good luck, guys. We're all counting on you.
All right, so already we see the paths have diverged, and the first thing they're going to be looking for is the sword, but anything they find early in game is going to be helpful for them as well.
Yes.
For example, if they find a level that don't have anything to do it, then they'll just remember that for later.
Yep. Both of these guys are using ways to track what they find and where. You may see early dungeon diving depending on how comfortable they feel in that dungeon.
You also might actually find that certain things are where you expect them to be.
Yep.
For example, that right there was in the place it normally is.
DW's doing a wraparound to level 5 to avoid walking up the stairs in the Lost Hills area. Hello, California.
So one of the customizations that's been done for Randomizer is all these messages that are like hints that we've all heard for 30 years. So the person who made the Randomizer, Fred Coughlin, he went in and changed all the messages. So they say silly things, but also this particular mode they're playing is called Helpful Hints, in which sometimes the NPCs will actually tell real information about where things are in the Randomizer. So when they find those, they may choose to purchase them.
Yep, and instead of finding the hints in the normal dungeons, you'll have one hint in 1, one hint in 2. They will lead you to the appropriate dungeon unless it's been replaced by a Hungry Urea or a bomb upgrade.
So in this case, for example, Darkwing's in a dungeon that he just found the Triforce in, but he had no way to attack. But there's a nice little trick with enemies that hold items, such as the Triforce, which can happen in Randomizer, you can just run right into them.
RC drone finding a raft instead of a white sword there. Can't get it yet.
In order to get that, it requires 5. Actually, it can require 4, 5, or 6 hearts, but apparently not 4, so at least 5 or 6. It's been changed to be in that range in Randomizer instead of the classic 5 required for the white sword in the original game.
See, he's trying to do a screen wrap to trick the game out and doing math incorrectly. And with the Moblin, it is not easy.
As you saw on RCDrone's screen, those enemies that look like links, those red links there, well, because he's playing as a Moblin, what do you do with the Moblins in the game? Well, they become Link.
Yep.
That you've swapped places. The same thing applies to the old woman that Darkwing is playing as, but instead you'll see Link as the vendor or the potion shop vendor.
Yeah, and you'll see there Darkwing got stuck. There's no way to progress through that level right now. So he's just going to mark it and come back to it when he has the requirements to get through there.
In this particular mode, the dungeons have their standard layouts. For example, the 3 is the Manji symbol, 1 is the eagle, but the dungeon or the rooms within them are all randomized.
Yep, and you'll see RC Drone running into the exact same thing there. So he's going to remember it and come back. And Darkwing's getting lucky because he's finding a whole lot of Hello Californias early, so he knows that's the pay. So has no money to give to the California-thon, so he's getting lucky. He gets to hoard his rupees for later.
But you can help with that by donating.
Right now, if you've got donations, this is a great time to read it.
All right. Speaking of donations, just to talk about it, just to let you guys know, we still have the $30 buy-in for the raffle for the Nintendo Switch, which maybe you might be able to play this game on. Maybe not quite this version, but we'll see what turns out with that. All right. So as far as donations are, we do have a $20 donation from Anonymous again. Wow, that guy's put in so much money into this marathon so
There
far.
goes Darkwing made a 10 rupee donation.
So those pays, they're in the original game too. They're the guys who complaining you blew the door open. But when you're doing any percent, you just never go to those. Whereas in Randomizer, you don't know where they are, and so they'll just take your money and make it a real pain to buy stuff.
Yep. One of these things both of these guys will be looking for is big secrets and possibly hints, arrows, bombs.
So wow, RCDrone has found 2 big secrets already, so he is at max rupees already. Whereas Darkwing is the exact opposite. He has no rupees at all.
Where Darkwing is right now, I personally don't like going down to this part of the world unless I have a bomb.
Yeah,
because it's a pain to get back to.
yeah. On the screen previous to where he reset the game there, there's a bomb location there, and you don't want to have to go back there. RCDrone just picked up a candle, which is a critical item in this game because it opens up basically, I don't know, a third of the cave locations in the game, so it's almost always required.
And RCDrone finding the power bracelet item. It may or may not have moved, but he's got it now. He's happy. Ish.
And we see here that we have some nice references for the speedrunning community. Darkwing finding that this dungeon is not so fun.
Yeah.
We've got the whiz robes, and he's got 3 hearts and green tunic. Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that.
In theory, if DW wanted to right here, he could farm that room by up-Aing on his second controller, and the rupee boss will reset. So if he wanted to, he could get as many rupees as he wanted to, but it's also a time investment.
And he chose not to do it in this case.
Yeah.
Once you leave the room, it remembers what you've done in that room, such as killing monsters or getting the rupees. So as long as if you leave the room by non-standard means, such as up and A, then it resets what's there.
And as DW just found out, Zols are not nice.
So the enemies in this game have a randomized HP compared to their original counterparts. They can be plus or minus 4 HP from usual. Obviously, you can't go negative. If they get to 0 HP, that means Boomerang can kill them.
Unless the boomerang doesn't affect them normally. And RCDrone is going shopping.
For example, the red whiz robes have 4 HP, and theoretically they could be set to 0, but in that case, you still can't hit them with a boomerang, so the difference between 0 and 1 is irrelevant. So, looks...
RCDrone finding something that he can't deal with right now, so he's just going to mark it and come back.
So in order to go in there, it requires getting all the other previous dungeons, just like the original game. But of course, he just needs to remember where that is and continue on and come back later.
Yep. And I do believe DW found the shuffled item as well.
So yes, bow is required. Of course. So that was a Fred Coughlin special there.
Yeah.
He made a custom ROM for us for California-thon.
Yeah, I had three distinct things to put into the ROM, and that was the one that I chose for Darkwing.
Getting another donation to the other way around. But
Ouch, DW taking a bit of a costly death there.
And RCDrone, meanwhile, found a level.
Yep. It's everyone's favorite spot. If you've ever played Randomizer with level 7, you know it's not fun to deal with this level.
So in the original game, level 7 is not that bad because you know the path to go through, but level 7 just has a lot of rooms and a lot of things that you have to check for. At least this one is an easy one. If you have like whiz robes in level 7, it's just a nightmare. So the enemy sets in the levels are randomized. For example, you saw whiz robes in level 1. Any dungeon can have one of 3 sets. It can be the whiz robe like set, or it can be the Dark Nut Gibdo set, or it can be the Moblin skeleton set.
Korea and South
Or not, oh, sorry. not Moblin, Korea's.
And so he's deciding to come back to that because he got stuck there. Interesting to note, we're 10 minutes in. Neither player has found a weapon to initiate a stabbing sequence. So they're still checking the caves. Fred has programmed this to where the sword is always going to be in an open cave. You will not need a bomb, power bracelet, a candle to find the sword. Does not mean that it's going to be easy sometimes, though.
So the reason for that is, like, when you start the game, you don't necessarily have a way to get bombs. I mean, sometimes you do. Obviously, they did in this seed, but... oh, Darkwing just soft-locked himself.
When screen scrolls go wrong.
So the basic wood sword will always be in the open cave so that you are guaranteed the ability to get to it. It just may be off in weird places or can have difficult enemies blocking it, things like that.
I'd like to point out that the seller of that candle chose a really great spot and put it under a bush. So, hey, I have a candle for sale. It's under a bush. How do you get that? You have to have a candle. Makes sense. And DW's not choosing to gamble his money away. But you could totally get more rupees to donate, DW, if you gambled.
So there are I think 3 total places in the game where you can touch an armhost and something will be there. One of them contains an item and 2 are staircases.
No, it's 5 total.
Oh, 5. Well, we can't count today. Ooh, this is a particularly dangerous screen.
This is a fun screen. That screen is normally up next to Death Mountain, next to Spectacle Rock, but it's not there. It got moved down below level 6. DW finding a spot that he wants to go, possibly looking in.
A lot of times when you don't have a sword in the beginning of the game, you're just gonna,
Nope.
yeah. However, he's gonna pick up the bombs there. I mean, might as well if you're in there. But yeah, sometimes you go in a dungeon without a sword because there might be like an awesome item just sitting there. For example, an awesome item that can be sitting there is the white sword, in which case you don't have to go find the wood sword anymore.
Yep. Another awesome item to find would be a boomerang or a book. Those are always fun to find. We're always thrilled to see those.
Boomerang is one of those items that is conditionally useful. It's late game, they're completely useless. But at the beginning of the game, especially when you don't have a sword, the ability to stop monsters from moving around temporarily is a really nice effect.
And of course, the best boomerang in the game is the blue one.
No. So the blue one is the game thinks it's the better one because it goes farther, but that just means that you can't use it as many times. You have to wait between times you use it.
Yeah. Which really does make it worse, unfortunately. RCDrone choosing to do a little bit more shopping.
So RCDrone's taking a safe route, which sometimes the meat in this game is required. It's the grumble, but usually it is not. He had extra money, so he decided to take it in case he does run into a place where he needs to use it.
Yep.
Darkwing finding one of the 3 big secrets in the game.
Yep. And Drone doing a 1-frame tap there to find the item, and he's a bit happy about it. He's gonna pick it up for sure.
Yeah, late game you typically wouldn't pick that up, but when you don't have a sword, it's kind of like the boomerang. You really want that.
Yeah. And DW
Finds
finally
a really critical item.
Yep. And Drone is literally right on his heels.
So yeah, this was a particularly trolly place. All the way in the corner like this, you find the sword. There are of many places in the game that is like the farthest from anything else for the open caves of the game, and that just really sucks.
Yeah.
But this randomizer can just hit you pretty hard sometimes.
Yep. And because of where they started at, the pathing to the northeast was not natural, and DW is extremely happy about this find because that is his first candle.
Now he doesn't have to go find the blue candle vendor and buy it.
Yep. So he gets to save X amount of rupees.
If you don't know Zelda 1, the difference between the blue candle and the red candle is that you can use it twice as much, or sorry, not twice. You can use it as many times as you want in a room, whereas red candle you can only use it once before you have to change rooms in order to fire it again.
Yep. And Drone's trying to kill some blue links there to get a bomb, and he does get one.
So I don't know whether drop packs are shuffled in this. I don't think they
No.
are.
Our drops are on the same spots where they should be.
So, for example, the usual rule of dungeons you want dungeon red monsters have bombs and outdoor blue monsters have bombs in their drop groups.
With the exception of blue levers, they don't carry bombs, they just carry money and blue tektites.
If I may get a word in real quick, we have a rather large donation here of $255 from the man with the hex. And the comment reads, the maximum number of rupees you can have is 255, so have a matching donation.
Thank you so much. That's a really generous donation. And DW's exploring around here, trying to see where he can go, and DW's not going to be too thrilled.
Unfortunately, you need a ladder to get through that room, which is often called the Chevy room because of the Chevy logo in the middle.
And RCDrone right now is fighting some really nasty Zols and Gels. These guys are no joke in this. They both have high HPs, and it's just not fun to deal with them.
Normally they have 1 HP, and the smaller ones have 0, but when they have more than 1 and you just have a wood sword, they just start to really suck.
Yeah, you see he was using a combination of arrows and sword slashes to deal 1 and 2 damage. And Dark Nuts aren't too bad to kill today. Darkwing is just now that he has a sword, he's gonna probably start revisiting places that he thinks he can clear quickly, and try to start looking for the ever important step ladder.
So this is where level 5 is normally. Normally you have to walk up a screen 4 times. It's really slow, so Darkwing just clipped up there.
Yep. And RCDrone picking up a shiny thing and deciding to leave and continue exploring around elsewhere. And the blue Octoroks don't play nice either in this seed.
That's not going to hurt that much, getting the pay that late in the game.
No.
And finally, somebody finds one of the choice area. I don't know what you'd call those caves, the heart caves.
Yeah, Heart Caves is...
Almost always you'll choose the heart, obviously, to raise your maximum health. But late game, if you have a lot of hearts already, you might take the potion instead as a safety measure.
And Drone finding something to do. And Darkwing is going to be buying some stuff here. See? Perfect. He can go back into there and pick that up.
So this is helpful hints mode, in which all of the hints that you can buy are actually useful, as opposed to some other ones where they try and trick you. So it says the boss name, so we've learned that level 1 has the item you saw, and level 5 has that item.
Yep. And then DW picking up the last hint, and
It's the other item in level 1. He's probably going to be interested in that one.
so sometimes the tricks that we use to and Drone's just gonna get that out of his inventory there.
So he finds that the meat is actually useless in the seed. Like it's not actually blocking anything. However, even if it's not blocking anything, you still want to use it because meat is essentially useless as an item, and it takes longer to scroll through your items. So in Randomizer, unlike the original game, you can configure it such that the select button lets you switch between items. Normally you have to press start to go to the menu and choose up there, but you're switching items so many times, especially in Randomizer, that it's just a pain. So we've modified the game to just make it the select button. You can turn it off if you'd rather have the pause that was in the original game, though.
RCDrone finding a couple hints and ultimately is disappointed in level 5.
That sail knot means that you don't have to get the raft.
Yeah. And so he knows he doesn't have to go back to that spot now. And did Darkwing pick up the receipt? That's the wrong. Yeah. Yeah. See, Zelda's the best candle seller ever. She's just put herself underneath all the burn bushes, thinking that somebody's gonna buy her candle. And DW finding one of the first ones for the hearts. There's a total of 4 of those heart caves scattered across Hyrule. Drone finding a hint shop, but has no monies.
So in addition to the 4 heart caves, one of the overworld items, which is normally on the coast on a place that requires the ladder, is another heart container. But in Randomizer, it's shuffled with all the other items, so you can actually go in a dungeon and the actual item for the dungeon could be a heart container. It could also be the white sword, which is also shuffled with the other items.
Yep. As we've seen that through hints and through what Drone has seen, the White Sword Cave is actually a raft this time around.
Ooh, these snakes are really nasty. Normally they have 1 HP and are really easy, but God, they have 4, which is the one of the worst they can be.
It is the worst.
So
It could be 5, but at that point, it doesn't matter. If we have time for donations.
I was just going to actually plug the charity real quick, just to let you know we are raising money at Californiathon for Direct Relief. It is a charitable organization that helps tons of places all over the globe in 70 countries and all over the United States with disaster relief, poverty, any type of emergency situation that needs quick help in delivering medical supplies and resources. They're rated a perfect 100 on Charity Navigator. I encourage you to take a look and get more information about them. They do have a Twitter, and they are listed on Wikipedia as well, so just get as much information about them as you can, and hopefully that'll bring you to the decision to donate some money towards them. Thank you.
And DW running into the exact same issues that RCDrone had run into a little earlier there. Just finding level 5 is completely inaccessible without some sort of ladder. DW opted not to feed the hungry rope, and he opted to keep the meat in his inventory. You can use the meat to distract certain groups of enemies. The moblins and the gorillas will go after the meat. RCDrone also, just a few seconds ago, he up-A'd and saved from a pay me to preserve his rupees because he knows where a hint shop is. So he's just trying to save up enough money to go visit the hint shop.
So yeah, you don't have to pay, but if you don't, well, you have to restart back in the beginning.
Yeah. It's a good trick to get ahead in rupees, especially after you've seen 2 large secrets and have spent a lot of money.
So RCDrone opted not to check one of the locations there. Maybe he felt that like fighting those guys with the Lionels is a huge pain.
Yeah.
So he may come back later.
DW finding the best hint type in the game, it's a step over hint. Those are always so wonderfully vague.
It means you require the ladder to get that item, but the problem is there's many ways in which ladder can be required. Usually it means that it's in a dungeon that is past a past something that like a little river that you need the ladder to cross. But it can also mean several different related things.
And in this case, we've actually seen at least 2 dungeons already that have been blocked by that ladder. So they can sort of guess where it is, but they have no way of knowing exactly which dungeon's going to have it.
So apparently, Darkwing has found the Atlantic City over here with all the gambling.
Yep, and the pay-me's. And DW just says no to donating any more rupees to California-thon.
RCDrone almost there got a graphical glitch, but thankfully he didn't.
Yep.
And Darkwing almost soft-locked himself again at the exact same location in which he did before.
So DW is just going to try to farm some bombs here real quick, and he does get a pack. So he's going to go back into the dungeon here, which didn't move. Darn it, Fred.
Yeah, level 1's in its ordinary location, which is a little unfortunate that one of the first things you guys get to see in Randomizer and a marathon, that is like the dungeon being in a normal place, but that just happens sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes it's everything shuffled, and sometimes it's like, it's in the same spot. But it's fine. You see the pallets are shuffled. This is normally level 8, level 9 pallets types. And level 8 actually has a custom pallet type. It's the Ice Palace. What Fred has done with this, he introduced palette colors that are different, and
It gives us some variety when we're playing Randomizer so many times. So, Darkwing here, he's in level 1, and he knows which items are in here from the hints. But the thing about level 1 is it has 2 items. Levels 8 and 1 have 2 items, and in level 1, one of the items is either sitting on the floor or appears when all the enemies are killed, and one of them is underground, like most items in the game. So that's why he's killing all these enemies, is so that he can find the item, which is the book.
And DW is not a fan of reading, so he's just going to pass on it and continue looking elsewhere.
So the book is kind of a useless item in this game. Like, what it does is when you use the wand, when it hits something, it bursts into flames. But those flames, they cause lag, they don't do much damage, and they hurt you if you run into them. So overall, it's like an anti-item. It actually makes things worse for you, so we just don't get it. There is a hack mode in Randomizer which turns it into like make explosions instead of fires. That's a great mode, but it also makes the game really easy, so we choose not to use it.
I like to point out that Drone should go back for that item, but he's not going to. It's only the best item in the game, Drone. Go get it. So he knows what one of the items in here, and this is not a fun room to deal with, by the way.
No ladder, no way to cross that other than to go along it. This is called the NSU room because as you can see, the tiles kind of say the letters NSU. But with whiz robes and no ladder, this room is a nightmare.
Yeah.
However, normally, like, you would just say, no, I'm not going to do this dungeon anymore, but he knows what's in here, so he's going to keep going. Also, he managed to get a blue whiz robe AI locked, which he could have killed if he wanted.
Yeah. And the blue whiz robes tend to have issues dealing with any sort of river room.
As far as I know, they weren't in any, or at least not many rooms with rivers in the original game.
No, they weren't in too many at all, if any. And Drone's finally going hint shopping. Ooh, Darkwing.
Nice bomb placement there.
Yeah.
And then he also gets a bomb drop. And RCDrone finds a hint vendor.
Oh,
Ooh.
well, Darkwing knows where the second item in there is, and he's just gonna go trudging back in there. Thankfully, the NSU room, because he did not kill the last blue wizrobe in there, it will not respawn. Yep. RCDrone picking up a couple hints there.
He now knows the same thing.
Yep. Both of them have seen that hint set.
Saying that the book and the silver arrows are in level 1, so we can more freely talk about it because we don't have to worry about RCDrone hearing it now. So, yeah, Darkwing is going for the silver arrows again, and it's funny that the item location in level 1 is where it usually is. Dang it, Fred.
Yep. And it's even the same staircase. The staircases can change throughout dungeons. You can find the diamond, you can find the 2 push block, the 1 push block, or the side stair. Because of where that staircase was, you could not get the side stair, but it could have been any of the other ones. And RCDrone finding the best hint ever. Step over to find the red ring, which he's already seen.
So we find out what is in level 6 there on RCDrone's second set of hints. There are 2 sets of hints.
Drone, you're 5 rupees short.
Oh. Ouch.
So he can't get that third hint. He may go back for it.
So these guys called Vires, they normally, when you hit them, will split up into 2 bats, but if you can do enough damage to kill them in one shot, they won't. And silver arrows do 4 damage, so that is now Darkwing's most powerful weapon. However, it does consume rupees, so he has to be careful with it.
Yeah. If you have any donations that you want to read, we've got they're walking.
Sure, we actually have a $30 donation from our man Vuligen in the audience. Man, the latest Zelda looks great. These high-definition graphics are amazing. This is for my entry for the Switch and a copy of this great game. We also have Tetrali with a $100 donation. All hail Lord Banana.
Lord Banana is the yellow boomerang's name.
Which you can see being used right here by these enemies against Darkwing.
Yeah, and the Korea set did not get shuffled. This is the normal set you would find in level 7. Normally, though, when you're here, you'll have 10 hearts or 11 hearts, depending on which way you go.
But again, level 7 is the biggest dungeon other than level 9 in terms of number of rooms, and so it can be a real pain to search all of it. Especially if you don't know whether what you'll find in it is useful at all.
Yeah. And you see a lot of dark rooms, so DW is just going to light him up, see what sort of obstacle he's dealing with, and he finds a really nice thing to find in level 7.
Compass in levels 1 through 8 tells you where the Triforce piece is. The Triforce piece is making your stay in the dungeon a lot shorter, especially in level 7. If you find it in level 9, it shows where Zelda is instead.
Yep. Even though Ganon has the Triforce piece, it pinpoints you the way to her. And Darkwing getting the very last pixel there for the bomb blast.
That was the O shoot room, so named because of the chute down the middle of it. It is a very annoying room normally because you wouldn't typically end up on it. I mean, you would just always come to it from the sides and then not be able to use it. You have to find another way around. The Darkwing just happened upon it in the correct direction.
Darkwing finding a staircase. There is a 1 out of 3 chance that this is the item. Level 7 has 1 transition staircase and then 1 item staircase, and it is a transitional staircase. So he's going to take it and see where he can go. And he realizes, hey, I've been here before already. Here's 1 room below this staircase.
So ropes are in the rupee drop group, which means they have a high chance of dropping rupees and 5 rupees. So it actually, using the silver arrows against them is not as painful as it might be. Oh!
And Darkwing finding the first money or your life dude has to give up
either 50 rupees or one of your heart containers. His max health just went down from 5 to 4. He chose to do that because he had no money to pay the ransom. However, you can up an A from there if you so choose.
Yep. Another thing to point out about that as well is that is normally a second quest only feature, but Fred has found a way to include it in the first quest, and so we can increase the difficulty of the game a little bit. And Darkwing coming to the room with the shiny thing in it, and sees that it's carried by a Stalfos, and he's going to not take it. He's going to try to look for the item in here.
So RCDrone did a little trick that you may have seen before, but in a different form. RCDrone X entered level 9, saw that he needed to bomb the upper part of level 9, but chose not to save a bomb. What you can do when the top door, the first room of the dungeon, is you need it to open, you can re-enter the dungeon and it will actually open the door. You see this in any percent in level 1, but it's actually a general bug in the game, not just with level 1.
And RCDrone realizing that he does not have the means to push that yet. He needs to find a power bracelet if he wants to start pushing one of the 4 spots outside.
Normally those push blocks outside are for the warp zones, but because the warp zones are shuffled in with every other cave in the game, they can actually be something required, or they can just be crap. You just don't know, and so sometimes it's a risk of whether you intentionally go for the power bracelet early.
Usually, the more that you can explore, the better, because you don't want to, by chance, get stuck. And
that's the worst, when you run into something and then you have to turn around essentially.
Yeah.
And coming back later it just costs a bunch of travel time. Darkwing's kind of struggling at the moment to find the item in level 7.
Yeah, level 7 is the largest dungeon outside of 9, as we've mentioned, so finding the room, that 1 staircase, is not easy.
If I could interject for just a moment. I just wanted to plug a couple of the incentives that we have for donation. We fairly recently, last night, got confirmation on a challenge incentive, a donation incentive. After the Soten Richter All Bosses race, the runners have agreed to an any percent bonus race at a $500 price point. We're currently $36 into that. Also, we have a donation incentive to suplex the train in FF6 that's currently at $20 out of $100, and there's still tons and tons of naming incentives, especially for FF6 and a variety of other games, so feel free to donate towards those.
And Darkwing trying to figure out where the item is in here, not having too much luck with it.
RCDrone finds the item in level 5, which happens to be what I've been looking for.
Yep. He did have a hint for it, so...
Oh, that's right, he knew where it was in there. I'm sorry.
Darkwing may give up on the item in here and just take the Triforce and run. We'll see. And if the blue Koreas take the maximum amount of hits there, which is 9. They normally have 5 hits, and they got shuffled up to 9 hits, so it takes 2 silver arrows and 1 sword stab.
Those guys can be particularly nasty when you're pretty low on health and you don't have any rings.
Thankfully, they do drop health. They're in the health drop group, but it's still those boomerangs take 1 heart. The getting hit by them takes 1 heart, unlike the orange counterparts, which only take half a heart if you just body them.
And there are turrets in the room. This is just an awesome room.
Yeah, this room is not fun to deal with at 4 hearts. RCDrone finding another place that he wants to go looking around in.
He has the ladder, so he can cross that.
Yep.
However,
It's just easier to save time by up-A and going back to start than trying to kill 3 Dodongos that are just awkwardly placed. And RCDrone picking up a very shiny map.
and then heading up and grabbing the bombs. He already knew where they were.
DW's, because he's so close to clearing the dungeon out, he's opting to just search for the item in here anyways, just to ensure that it's either something useful or not useful, so he doesn't have to come back to it.
He finds something he already knew, which is that level 8 is in the graveyard.
Yep. It's a great hint, assuming you don't know where it is, but he already knew where it was, so it's kind of a useless hint for him. Darkwing's on half a heart, and he's just going to slowly sword down the ropes. And Drone coming out of a spiral staircase, stabbing Gibdos. So Drone taking a beating by the Gibdos, which do 2 hearts of damage normally, but they are not doing 2 hearts of damage right now because of the road he's picked up. And what he's doing, he's avoiding using a key there. Either player has not seen an any key, so they're doing their best to conserve keys.
So RCDrone actually found Ganon's room, the room with the skull. However, it's dark and you can barely see it. So the rooms are shuffling, including level 9. So the room that normally has Ganon may just appear in another dungeon like that.
Yep.
Same with Zelda's room.
Drone has seen a hint for this, so he's gonna just stop by and pick it up.
The wand is almost as good as the sword, but it does white sword level of damage. And since he still has a wood sword, that's actually a pretty good item to pick up.
The wand does have a few nuances from a technical standpoint. The hitbox on it is very funky. You can hit enemies with the tip of the wand or the shaft of the wand from almost a full block away. It also damages Dark Nuts, as you saw, Pole's Voice, but not Wizrobes. Wizrobes are immune to both hits from it. So it's good for 2/3 of the enemies in this game, but not Wizrobes. And Drone's clearing out that NSU room that was not fun to deal with.
Looks like Darkwing's gonna give up on this dungeon and just get out.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
Well, you can't get to the Triforce over there,
Oh, right.
so he's
I
going
forgot
to
he
try to
doesn't have a
force the
ladder.
Gibdo, or the Stalfos, back on the right side there. Alright, and DW's just going to cut his losses and skedaddles with the Triforce in there. What RCDrone did there was actually a glitch in the game. If you saw, he pushed down on the Armos, and then before it had a chance to spawn, another one started spawning. It's because of the projectiles. One of the projectiles that was being fired on the screen disappeared, and so it got replaced by a Armos push again. Thanks to Fistpick for figuring that one out. Fistpick has done a lot of technical looking into the game with how enemy movements work and how they track you.
So what RCDrone was doing there, you can if you look closely, you can see that he's actually using his sword at the same time as the wand. If you do that, both will take damage. In other words, his swings are doing 3 damage instead of the usual 2 from the wand when he pulls it off correctly.
Yep. As long as you damage something with on the same frame, you can combine 2 weapons. So you could combine a bomb and a sword hit, or a bomb and a wand hit to deal more damage at the same time. It's useful for dealing with splitting enemies and enemies that have high HP. And right now, Drone's just looking through the level trying to find Triforce and the item in there. And Darkwing is on a very dangerous part there, but he survives because of the arrows.
He finds that those Lionels are actually easier than normal, allowing him to kill them with just 1 silver arrow.
Yep, normally they have 6 HP, so it takes 2 hits from a silver arrow or a magical sword, master sword, magical sword hit.
Even with the ring like this, RCDrone, those blue dark nets do a lot of damage. They can be a huge pain to kill, especially when they have high HP like this.
And so Darkwing is just going to explore Death Mountain, see if there's anything up there, and Drone's going to find the item in here, and he may be happy with that.
So that item is not required to beat the game. It is very useful, especially when you get to the late game, if you don't have enough already.
And Drone's just going to continue trying to find the Triforce in here now.
Darkwing's returning to level 8 now that he actually can do something.
Yeah.
Technically, you don't need a bomb to enter that because of the glitch I mentioned where you can re-enter the dungeon. However, it wouldn't be worth the time here.
Yeah, it's great if you're already entering from that way, and RCDrone finding the compass and realizing he has to go take the long way around here.
Apparently, it's in the normal room. Fred?
Yeah. That is actually where the Triforce normally is. And Darkwing's just going to find the staircase, which is a passageway in 8. 8 has 1 passageway and then 2 item staircases in it. And so he's going to try to find the both items in here.
So RCDrone finds the rupee boss holding the Triforce. In other words, you have to get those rupees in order to get the Triforce piece.
Ouch. DW taking a little bit of a rough death there. The room that is there, that he was fighting those gorillas in, is actually normally in 7. But because of how the coding in this game works, it is normally a master room, so if you kill one, all of them die, but because there are shutter doors in there, you do have to full clear the room. And RCDrone's just saying no to that room right now. He's opting to go look around elsewhere. And Darkwing's going to clear the room out. And then RCDrone realizing that he can't do much. And he's going to have to... he's playing bomb tag with the Dodongo right now.
If you manage to cause a bomb to explode in front of Dodongo instead of Dodongo actually eating it, he will be stunned for a moment, and then if you hit it with your sword, it will always drop a bomb. Well, almost always. There's certain conditions under which it won't, but That is an excellent way of refilling your bomb count if you run into Dodaros.
Yep. And so RCDrone's going to start exploring this dungeon and trying to figure out where exactly the things he needs are in here, and finding some normal gels. It is worth noting that DW said no to that. The gels that split from Zols versus the gels that you find on the ground do have 2 separate HPs. Darkwing getting a little bit of a phone call there, but it's okay.
Darkwing finds out he doesn't have any keys to open that door.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's thrilled by that hint since he's already seen that level and has completed it. So Darkwing's running out of options on where he can find the ladder at this point. He's seen a lot of levels that he's just been utterly stopped by a ladder, and so he just needs to find it. And takes a death to Gliok, but I mean, a 4-headed Gliok in a river room is nothing to sneeze at. It's a difficult fight to deal with.
5 hearts, wood sword against a Gliok, a 4-headed Gliok. That's just, no, don't do that.
It's very rough.
Just to quickly throw this out here, we have actually met the donation incentive for Suplex the Train, so thank you guys for your quick work on that. Catching up on a couple of donations here. DH Storm with $80 saying, "What you gonna do when the Phantom Train runs wild over you?" And we got Sakatana with $30. Suplex Doom Train already met. Whatever, take my money. And we have our own Jeff with a $42 donation. 13,000, baby.
Nice.
And he does indeed get it in there. Our total donations for right now are at $13,030. So thank you very much for all of your very, very kind support and generosity. Keep them coming in. We have still a ton of games left to get through in the rest of the day. So stick around.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Storm, for that donation. His real name's DH Stom, but in Darkwing's chat, he's known as DH Storm. So he's used to that by now.
Our community has mini trolls just like the rest of Twitch.
They're kind trolls, though. And Darkwing finding a hint for one of the items in this dungeon, he's not too happy with it because he knows now there's only one item left to find in here. And unfortunately, he may be stuck. The good news is he does have a way to kill the Goma, so he can get out of this and continue exploring in here once the Goma cooperates with him. He does find a well-needed heart container, though. His life is pretty low.
He did lose that 1 heart container in one of the levels. I forget which one.
Yeah. I think it was in level 7. But there was a choose one. And he's now in the same room that he was in earlier. But on the other side of the river, so he's just going to have to work his way around.
Sometimes this game can be really frustrating.
Yes. And okay, that's a square moat room, I think, is where DW's at right now. It's hard to tell. He's not going to waste time using a candle. He's just going to shoot him and kill him. Because he wants to go right here.
I remember what it was. It's the room in normally in level 7.
Oh yeah, it's the block room.
Yeah. Square rectangle, can't get in the middle.
And so he does find an item he does find an item in here, and it's the one item that he knew about and is not too thrilled to find.
This late in the game, this far into the game, the boomerang is just not useful he has plenty of other weapons to defend himself.
He's on the hunt for one item only, and that's the ladder. So he's just trying to figure out where it is. Oh, he does find the Triforce, knowing that he only has, I think, one room left in here.
And here's the second item.
Hey, guess what? In order to get to the compass, you have to see the Triforce first. Great job. Good job guarding Stalfos. You're amazing. And that is not a... That's rough.
He'll take it, but that is not what he wanted to find.
He would have been happiest with a ladder. He could have also seen a white sword. He could have seen just a lot of useful things, and just finding a heart container is just so disheartening after full clearing that dungeon.
That's Randomizer for you. It can be a real pain.
Yeah, it can set you up for highs and lows, and most of the time it's lows at this point.
RCDrone getting trolled in level 7 a bit.
Yeah, despite having, equipment to deal with it, it's still the largest dungeon, and it can be a pain. And RCDrone is trying to figure out what to deal with the Dig Dogger is, and spinning right around. And Darkwing's just trying to go back over in his mind where he's been and what he needs to do. And there's Drone. Drone picks up the shiny thing in 7. And I'm not sure when... I'll see if Drone pauses on the main menu here outside. Pretty sure Drone's close to finding most of the Triforces. Not 100% sure though.
On that previous screen, you saw the blue links. Those, of course, are what are normally moblins, and so it's sprites swapped, like I mentioned earlier.
Yep. And Darkwing's now making a old woman line to another dungeon that he picked up the Triforce in, but he may not have picked up the item in. So he's just going to go back and try to see what he's missed. The nice part about level 2 though is the item is on the ground, so most of the time you don't need to kill things. Not always. There are rooms that do drop when enemies like that right there. That's actually going to be useful for when he goes back in there, because he's out of keys. He needs a key really badly.
Well, there is one in that trap room that I was just in, so you can pick that up on the way through.
It's frustrating when Zols have 5 hit points like they do here. It's just not fun to hit them a whole bunch of times. And Drone just bodying down the manhandler. He doesn't have to worry about anything.
Darkwing picking up the desperately needed key.
Yep.
And that key door in the first room turned out to be useless, so he did make the correct choice. Well, actually, it wasn't a choice. He didn't have any keys.
Yeah, he was out of keys. He couldn't go that way. Darknut dropping a 5 rupee outside of its normal drop group. If you kill 10 enemies consecutively in this game without taking damage, the 10th enemy will drop a rupee. If you kill the 10th enemy consecutively without taking damage with the bomb, you will either get a bomb or store a bomb depending on the enemy type that you kill. So
you see that technique used much more in any percent, because you generally have to keep track of how many bombs you're using, and you need to know how many bombs for every part in the game you may be headed to.
Yep. And Darkwing's just clearing out a really nasty room. This turret room with the Zells and hey, Darkwing finding something very important. That room is not fun to deal with, especially if you have low hearts there. So Darkwing's just now going to be going through the motions and going back to dungeons that he's already been to that he got stuck by that item with.
Did he visit the coast?
Yes. Both players have seen the item on the coast.
So Darkwing may go to the coast at some point to pick up the red ring to help his survival. Because you can see RCDrone is just kind of going wild here because he doesn't care the amount of damage is.
Oh,
He almost got the book.
Jordan almost did a mistake there with picking up the book.
Especially since he's been using that wand, so it would start lagging the game and possibly damaging him if he got it.
I think he should go back and get it. That should have been a donation incentive. Pick up book if seen. I'm sure the players would have loved that.
Especially our friend Lizzie that watches these very often.
Yes, Lizzie loves her book. RCDrone picking up the Triforce out of 1.
The ladder lets you do this really useful technique where you just stand on the water and do this. You actually don't need the ladder to do that technique because you can block clip onto the water the same way, but it just makes it a lot easier to use the ladder.
Yeah, he's just stabbing him. He can't take damage here though. He'll definitely die if he takes damage. So that's why he's just choosing to be extra careful and not getting a drop out of a moat room, which is always unfortunate. Oh, the bubble's being bad.
When they hit you, you can't use your sword for some number of seconds, maybe 10, I don't know. They're just irritating.
Yeah. And we've also found a way to include that gel is just not behaving nicely.
Could have used an arrow there, but he's only got 38 rupees. He's probably watching that.
Yeah. RCDrone finding the second item in level 1, which he knew where that was as well. So I do believe he's going to be working his way around to the final dungeon.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did he find them all?
Yeah, he has. He's seen them all. I think both players have actually seen all the dungeons now. Oh, no, that's not. I lied. I'm so sorry. He is not. And RCDrone picking up a red. Ouch. Darkwing taking a death there. He may not go back to that room unless he absolutely has to. There's still plenty of ways to go in level 3. RCDrone did buy a potion there. Potions make level 9 easier, especially if Ganon ends up being in a bad room or has a bad spawn. His pattern will not be what it normally is. He won't be in the normal spots. And so Darkwing getting poked in the rear by a passing Darknut there.
Darkwing finding the item here, which he desperately needed.
Yeah, with one key going to a key is just so substantial.
Now he doesn't. Neither player has to worry about keys for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, and there's I believe 15 key doors and 9, so you can go through a lot of keys very quickly. You could have 7 keys and 9 and still run out and not be able to finish it.
So Zols and Gels are, they have a lot of HP, but they're also very flammable. So the red candle is really helpful there.
Yes. And Drone's just trying to find. Oh no!
Oh, Darkwing has no bombs against enemies that require bombs. So
that's unfortunate. That's just he's gonna place meat there to distract the moblin.
Those blue ones have a potential of dropping a bomb. So what he can do is re-enter the dungeon, and then go out, and they will respawn.
Yep. So he's gonna get 2 chances at a bomb every time he does this. Unfortunately, without the enemies dropping right now, he doesn't know where he is on the global counter, which keeps track of it. Well, now he's seen a clock, so he knows that he needs to kill 2 enemies, and then kill a bomb dropper to have a potential bomb drop like right there.
And he will definitely, to get another set of bombs, he's definitely going to use the trick of smoking a Dodongo so he can get extras.
RCDrone finding the most useful compass ever in the game.
Right.
Considering that was his next room that he was going into anyways.
Well, the one in level 8 was even better.
Yep. And he's just clearing out those Dodongos.
And you can see the smoke technique being done there.
What he did there was he fed one to stop it, and then you wait a second, and then plant another one, and it will stun the Dodongo. Okay, easy room for TW here. He's just gonna shoot down a bunch of keys, and he's got 8 hearts as well now.
If not for that, if not for the ransom room, we would actually have 9 now.
But you couldn't pay the old man, so he had to give up a heart container. One thing to note, though, is that heart container or money can actually be a heart container, max bombs, or rupees, or keys. It just so happened in this seed it got rolled into money or life. Sometimes it can be a key or a bomb. And so it's a nice bit of randomness in here. And RCDrone's just going to go through the motions here of trying to hunt down.
So that hint there tells him where to find that.
Yep. So he's going to start working his way towards that. And this is not a fun room. This is actually normally a room that's in level 5.
And it has Pulse Voices instead of Wizrobes.
Yeah. Even with the red ring, he's still taking a beating because of how the Wizrobes move through that room.
And killing Wizrobes with a wood sword is just painful.
Yes.
So you're going to see a lot of avoidance strategies here instead of like killing all the enemies.
Yeah. He's going to clear out easy rooms.
And any room with shutter doors.
Yep. And so RCDrone's going to take the first staircase he sees. He's going to hope it takes him to where he needs to go. I'm pretty sure that's not the direction he was looking to go, but he's going to continue on in it. And so an interesting thing to note here is that shutter door did not open. What that means is that is where, in this case, Ganon's going to be.
So because he plays as an enemy, he's going to save Ganon.
Yeah, from the evil Zelda.
It's pretty good when you see it.
And so he's just trying to figure out where exactly he needs to go to out. Oh, land molas. Land molas are bad. And here he finds a hint in level 9 that there are 3 hints total that tell you where things are. And in this case, it's not a useful hint. Oh,
Ooh.
land molas do not play around in this game. Something that you all did not hear, but we did, is that there was a roar in that room, and there is the overly sized evil Princess Zelda. Right now, what he's doing is a stun lock on Ganon, Zelda. If you time your hits just right, and you'll see that she didn't move from that spot at all. Woodsword takes 15 hits to take down Zelda. It takes a lot of hits, and that was a really good fight from Drone there to be able to do that.
So we're coming up on time for RCDrone.
Yep. Assuming that the
Nothing
hazards
bad
of this dungeon does not get him. Oh, he's fine here.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything dangerous on the way. Well, that's dangerous, but not.
Yeah,
not
he's
so much.
fine. Time is when he touches Ganon. And that's the best place ever for it.
Finally, chaos returns to Hyrule.
Well done.
Am I gonna get the pity clap?
So how many Triforce pieces are left for you?
What?
Never mind.
How many shiny things do you have left?
2, I think. I gotta get 4.
Yeah. You see, even though these guys took 2 completely different paths, ultimately, because they knew where the dungeons were, that their routing almost ended up the same. They did the same dungeons at the end. Both of them did 6 and 4 last.
So what made the difference here was simply the choice that arbitrary choices sometimes. Like, you go a direction and there's nothing there, whereas the other player goes a direction, there is something there.
Yeah.
And so
Why not? You can use the wand. Wand is normally in this dungeon. Darn it.
Fred,
Yeah.
So really quick, just to touch on those incentives once again. As I mentioned, we did fulfill the suplex the train incentive. However, we still have a fairly large incentive going here for having all of the Symphony of the Night Richter runners participate in an any % bonus race after the all bosses race.
See, it's a good thing you picked it up, Darkwing.
So feel free to donate towards that.
I'd like to point out that when I was running this seed and ensuring that we did everything we could right here, I knew this had the potential to be bad, just based on where the ladder was. And that room that early on, dealing with the breaking gels and Zols with a lot of HP in a turret room, and DW just has not seen enough 6, so he wants to go back in and visit again. But I knew that ladder could be a very bad spot for it, and same way with Wood Sword. As you saw, both players not finding Wood Sword until really late into the run. And Darkwing's just going to go pick up...
Red Ring, yeah.
well, he's going to go to 4 first, then when he goes down to 9, he'll pick up Red Ring since it's on the way.
Yeah.
There was no good opportunity for Darkwing to go pick it up prior to this. There's nothing really in the way. It would have been a waste of time to go out of his way and pick it up. And he really hasn't needed a Red Ring to get through all these dungeons.
So Darkwing is very much a any % player. He plays a lot, and so in any % you don't get those rings, and so he's very much used to combat with just the green tunic.
Yep.
Ooh, almost got handed there.
Yeah.
Those guys will return you to the beginning of the dungeon, which is just irritating.
The good news is it wasn't too far into the dungeon.
Yeah.
It's rough when you get wall mastered in 7 on your way to the Triforce. It is also worth noting that both these players have really awesome any % times. Darkwing is currently 3rd for known finish times, only behind Cantaloupe Me and Black Attack 24. RCDrone, I believe, has a 30:24. What is your time? What?
30:47.
30:47. I was close. I'm lucky if I remember like 3 times. All I know is all of you all are better than me at any %. And Darkwing is just trying to hunt down the Triforce in here. Hey, Stalfos. Nope, can't go that way.
Love how he's not using the candle.
Oh, there's no need to, really. Well, maybe here. I think this is a maze room. Is that the maze room? Yeah. And so picks up the compass. He knows where he knows it's next door. Thankfully, he has bombs this time. He doesn't have to. I hope so. I said it loud enough. And gets the Triforce. He's just gonna head down to
Everyone's favorite dungeon, level 9.
level 9.
And that is the sort of fun that this randomizer is causing.
Last time I ever take notes.
Did you lose 2? Is that what happened?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just went other places. I had to fix the letter and do it again. Till then.
Yeah.
Where am I going?
You're going to get the red ring on the coast. Other than that, maybe insane. I don't know.
So yeah, randomizer control you. It can, and sometimes the winner is just decided by luck, essentially. But
It's ultimately it is luck. I mean, obviously there's a lot of skill involved, but
so when we play randomizer, we play a lot of games over a long time, and it gets to be pretty clear who the better runners
Look,
are.
I'm a potato.
a red russet potato. All right, Mrs. Potato Head, kill the Patra. You'll see what he's doing there. He's using the wand and the sword at the same time to quickly clear out the eyes surrounding the Patra.
Those things are normally a huge pain if you only have the wood sword.
And there's Link giving out a good hit. Yep, not northeast.
So the reason it says beast is the reason it says beast is because, of course, the enemy varies depending on which sprite you're using.
Yep. And Darkwing's just choosing to go the other way, not deal with that room right now. Yep, stab the leg. Doggone it. Fred, that was Fred's best tunic. This is the best hint in the game. I love this. If there's ever a time that Link deserves being stabbed, it's here. Stab, bomb, committing Link abuse there. It's perfectly fine. He's just not going to deal with that room. He's just going to up A. 3 hearts is plenty with red ring though.
So what that means with Darkwing now knows that Zelda has the compass, whereas the compass is how you find Zelda other than trial and error, just searching.
Yep.
So, in other words, the compass is not going to help him this time. Another way in which the seed is being utterly trolly.
Well, it can help him when he finds her.
I think at that point his concerns are elsewhere.
I'd like to say good job on not dying to a fire drone. Thank you for being conscious about that. And more Patra. Something to note here, though, is if Ganon is in a room next to a Patra, you can hear a slight roar before the Patra roar starts.
It's difficult, though. I've never been able to.
It's difficult, but it is noticeable. Otherwise, after you kill the Patra, what you'll do is go back into the room and see if you can hear Ganon. And that Patra, I started to get out of sync with the main body, but took care of it.
However, in this case, he knows that Ganon's in the northwest, and so Ganon could not possibly be there.
Yep. The blue Wizrobes are actually friendly in this seed. They only have 8 hit points rather than the usual 10 or 14. 14's always fun, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. My favorite HP number. Ooh.
Oh.
I hate those things.
And DW is always saying that the blue land molas aren't aggressive, and I'm just like, no. They just make a beeline for you. He's going to kill this Patra here to do a clip that I don't think we've actually seen today.
Yeah, one of them I think went into a tea room like this earlier, but it's the first time they actually bothered to go across.
Yeah. You can see there he does a 1-frame tap on the correct pixel, and he just walks across the water. Last bomb. Oh, it worked. He may opt to kill orange Wizrobes for more bombs here, depending on what he finds elsewhere. He's hoping for a bomb drop, doesn't see it. The good news is those aren't the silver reverse sea rooms, so he doesn't have to deal with that. And now he's just listening for Ganon's roar at this point and trying to figure out where Ganon is.
Looks like he's gonna kill from bombs.
Yeah. I think he's hearing it right now.
Yeah, I think so. We did play the seed ahead of time to, you know, make sure that it's not like degenerate or anything. And I believe Ganon is.
One room to the right here.
Yeah.
And now we're getting an exhibition of some skills here. Yeah. And that's a double reverse block clip. That is not fun to do. But DW does it in his typical perfect motions there. Oh, hey, how convenient. He's trying to find one bomb. That's all he needs to find. Ooh. Blue Wizrobe wanted a hug, DW. Go give it a hug.
So how hairline are the margins for success in a randomizer like this?
It truly depends. I mean, anybody can be beaten on any given day in Randomizer. It's truly combat. It plays a huge part in it, but then again, also knowing when to not fight and just move on and find a sword. When I race, I have a humongous tendency to go into dungeons early. Why don't you tell him how you feel about that? I do tend to go into dungeons without a sword early. It's my personal preference. If I can find a quick item, it's perfectly fine. Well, then get one. I mean, it's not like there's blue dark nuts in here.
That graphical glitch you just saw is actually in the original game, so it's not a side effect of the randomizer. It's caused when it's trying to do too much in loading or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, hey, guess
Hey!
what? See what happens when you complain enough in Randomizer. You get what you want anyways. Hey, it worked. Alright, so DW now knows the path to Ganon in case he does die. A Hyrule driver takes 4 hits off of you normally. He has red rings, so it'll take 1 heart off of him, but it's still bad.
Enough to kill him.
Yep. Oh. This is what I meant when I said that Ganon spawning in a different spot there as opposed to his normal location can cause an issue with his movement. He's normally not there, but because of how he moves, he probably ended up near the bottom of the wall. Yeah.
How did I get there?
You
Oh.
walked. See, DW is the king of sarcastic remarks, so it's just like, well, I think you can go that way. I think that's the path I took when I got there. And so now just walking his way.
Walk there?
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't hear me when I said that. I think that's the path I took, did you?
I hate those things.
Yeah, land moles are just not fun to deal with at all. Yep. Nice dodge on the lifelike there.
Because he doesn't have the big shield, like they will just eat you.
Oh,
and
maybe he can walk there. Uh-oh. I'm trying to think now. Does that bomb open? Well, try the other side of the wall there.
You have the one more try.
Yep.
Did I try bombing from here? I don't know.
You didn't have a bomb, so no, you did not try bombing there. Oh, see? There we go. We can get there. Just have to take a really ridiculously way around the town. The good news is that Ganon spawned really close, so he can just go up and take a quick swipe at Ganon and try to get a stun lock on him. Oh, well, okay, he's got
Ooh,
the stun
nice.
lock. So if you didn't see it on the very first swing on the stun lock there, he swung again afterwards to create a buffer. So he knew how to time the rest of his hits there. And that's a very good kill as well from DW there. So now all he has to do is find the princess. Uh-oh. Well. Yep, he's still going.
Is the microphone on?
Yeah,
So-
we're still going.
Yeah, that's my. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
So DW right now is clearing out the land molar room. He's gonna push it, and he should have grabbed the 5 rupee, but it's okay.
Please no bully the runners.
That 5 rupee can stay there.
That's an interesting spawn there with those whiz robes. Normally they will appear on a cross
Oh,
line.
they're all on top of each other, all 5 of them. Or
Yep.
whatever.
So right now what DW is looking for is a shutter door that opens on its own. And that's how he knows he's found Zelda. And so he has...
Anywhere near?
you're close. Yeah. Oh!
Not now.
No. Well, now you're definitely not close. If we're playing hot and cold, you're getting a little cold.
Northeast then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta walk there. Hopefully I get bombs on the way.
You shouldn't even.
Did you go up from? Oh yeah, you did go up from there. I'm trying to remember your pathing. Oh no, you play the game. It's fine. I'm thinking there's a staircase on the way, maybe. Oh, that was a patcher room. Well, yours was pretty short, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Having the longer 9 too?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Try the key door. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, that's not a staircase. Hey, you can get bombs here, though.
I think it actually is a staircase.
No, it can't be because of the shutter door on the bottom.
Oh, well, maybe I'm dumb.
Oh, that's where I keep
Yeah.
Alright, lead me.
All right. I think you can get there from start, can't you, Drone? Thanks. I can't wait for the day that there's just no entrances in 9, and you're just like, oh, Ganon just finally won.
You require bombs or something?
I took one staircase.
From where?
It's on my map.
You have your map.
We got some sick meat spam in the chat, by the way, DW. Some sick meat spam.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is it DWD Rainbow Meat? Nice. He starved that poor gorilla. Just
Yeah.
good question.
So something about level.
Yeah, take this stair here.
Yeah, yeah.
I know where to go now. Here.
So something about level 9 in randomizer compared to normal is that level 9 in the original game, like you have to go down like 5 staircases overall because it's all disjoint. Randomizer is random, so it doesn't have that intentionally designed
Try bombing
craziness.
right here. Okay. So, up and around. Then just go up and around.
You were actually in the room before, I believe.
Yeah. I think you want to go down.
No,
No.
I think it's up from there.
This is why hints don't actually help all that much.
Yeah. hints are as good as the driver of the. There it is. Yes.
There it is. Yay!
You see how that shutter door opened without the enemies being dead? That's how he knows. He found the old man with the compass.
Oh god, it's trying to kill him. There we go.
Nice.
Time.
Yeah.
All know that I am now way below you, not only in height, except for lizard, but in stature and speedrun ability.
I will point out that both of these runners, RCDrone is currently #1 on SRL rankings.
2.
Oh, he's 2 now? Oh, Eunice bumped you?
Don't tell me what I'm at. They don't want to know.
No, but I'd like to point out both of these guys have been at the top. And both of these guys are amazing runners.
So we are doing extra quest randomizer right now. Next, right? No, no, not.
I'll do a second quest right now.
Yeah, me too. I'll do second quest. Woo!
All right. Thank you everybody for your participation in the randomizer. Darkwing. Oh man, who are our commentators? Coming. We'll go across the side here. Miriam Chan.
Panzer Dave.
Panzer Dave.
Panzer
And RC. So thank you guys for running. Absolutely fantastic race. Great commentary on the mics also. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna be cutting to some commercials for a little bit and setting up. Our next block is going to be the fantastic task block coming up here. So stick around for that. We'll see you in just a little bit.